Namaskar, this is Akhilesh Bhargav again. Welcome to Tidbits on Business and Finance with me. A recent news item talks about a massive raid conducted by the Income Tax Department Delhi on several places and locations belonging to a Delhi and Srinagar based prominent business organization on suspicion and charges of tax evasion, money laundering and, more seriously, links to terror funding. It's a prominent organization. The department has not made its name public, but it was actually found to have been involved in tax evasion, money laundering, hawala, and also with very clear links to terror funding and financing. What the Income Tax Department found was that this group was engaged in activities of business and operations of hotel, tourism, stone quarrying, and various related activities, and had huge turnovers and cash flows. Surprisingly, it did not file income tax returns at all. So despite having huge cash flows, huge incomes, huge amounts of undisclosed income, undisclosed expenditure, very clearly indicating incriminating evidence of black money, despite that, this group was found to have not been filing income tax returns at all. Now these kind of large groups which have got huge amounts of undisclosed income and which don't file income tax returns, they actually follow a conscious strategy, a very deliberate ploy of trying to be what we call below the radar. The hope is that if you don't file income tax returns at all, and if you have a patron somewhere in the government department and systems, then you will actually continue to be undetected. That's actually not true, but this kind of not filing of a return is a conscious strategy of these kind of tax evaders. This raid in Delhi reminds us of yet another such raid which had taken place at an organization in Mumbai a few years ago. This particular organization had a small office in a very communally sensitive area of Mumbai, and it was found to have conducted hawala and money laundering activities in India and anywhere in the world to the tune of over 60,000 crores. It was shocking. How did this kind of an organization actually manage to continue operating for so many years? That was the size of operations that we would want to think that should not go undetected. The fact remains is that there are a number of times when there are big ticket tax evaders also indulging in criminal activities, and they go undetected for years. The common man can see it, but the government department surprisingly does not. That's because there is somebody in the departments patronizing and sheltering them. Otherwise, they would not go undetected. In fact, these cases are an aberration in India's otherwise very well regulated, very comprehensively and rather over-regulated economy and the nation. We have a very extensive set of laws. In terms of economic matters, we have the Income Tax Act, we have Prevention of Money Laundering Acts, we have Benami Acts, we have the Enforcement Directorate, we have organizations and regulators like the Reserve Bank, we have banks which are there as sentinels looking out for suspicious transactions. So, how can these kind of large organizations actually, or these kind of large violations go undetected? We have the laws. We have an extensive administrative machinery all over the country. We have a strong judicial system, and most importantly, all these government departments today have a very advanced surveillance system who are gathering data, evidence, information about any wrongdoing or violation on a real-time basis. How is it then that these kind of organizations go undetected for so many years, especially when they are not just into tax evasion, but their criminal activities have also entered the most dangerous territory of terror funding? Let me explain it to you. Take the Income Tax Department. They get information on a real-time basis online from a lot of sources. These include information related to real estate deals, information related to capital markets deals, information related to mutual funds, information related to foreign remittances, inward as well as outward, information related to any large-scale payments through banks, any suspicious transactions by checks get reported, any cash transactions over 2 lakhs also get reported on an online basis. That's the kind of information that comes to them. If you think you have an undisclosed account overseas, the chances are that income tax department today would be even probably aware of it. Then why is it that this kind of an organization which was raided in Srinagar and Delhi went undetected for years? The answer is simple. They had patrons in the system. They were patronized, sheltered and protected by the system itself, because otherwise, when you have such huge footprints of cash flows in the banking system, in the trade system, you cannot go undetected. And it is these patrons who patronize and shelter these kind of criminals. They must be punished much more than even punishing these very violators, because it's because of their shelter that this kind of an organization into criminal activities prospered and proliferated. This incident reminds us of the case of Zakir Naik, the controversial Islamic preacher who was known to make very inflammatory anti-national speeches. He was a citizen of India, and when he was about to be caught, he ran away. He is now with his masters in Malaysia under their shelter. But this Zakir Naik was also found to have set up a huge empire. He received money from abroad for his illegal activities, and that was never reported again. How did it go unreported? Obviously, somebody in the banking system, somebody in the tax system was giving him shelter and protection. That's how we built a large empire despite being involved in criminal activities. The most shocking one is that the Enforcement Directorate is planning to attach, after having found over 14 properties of Hafeez Saeed, the enemy of India, the man in charge of LET, which had conducted the 26/11 operations. Hafeez Saeed is found to have had these properties, 14 properties in Jammu and Kashmir, and they are now being attached. How did he manage to buy them is a big concern. How were they even registered? Didn't the authorities know that this is an enemy of India? These kind of activities take place only if somebody in the system sided with them. And that explains why criminal organizations, tax evaders manage to have links with terror funding. A matter of concern for India. This is Akhilesh Bhargav signing off till we meet again. Namaskar.
If you like this video, please share it, and we would love to hear your comments in the comments section down here. Also, please do like our Facebook page and follow us on Twitter to get minute-to-minute news updates. For more such shows and videos, well, subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Namaskar. HW News Network today is a year and a half old. Thanks to your support, thanks to your love, we've grown. We require your support a little more. What we request you to do is to download our free app. Our app is in English, Hindi and Marathi. We promise to update you with the latest news, views, analysis, interview. We also have a live TV going in that. If you download our app, we will get advertisers. And if we get advertisers, we'll get revenue. We get revenue, we can serve you better. So once again, please do support us. Please download our app. Namaskar.